Go pout.
I did tend to like
Yeah, well, never know. When your sister and your daughter.
21. Brian, can you hear me?
Give me a second. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, I can hear you at least.
Okay, good.
All right, so it sounds like you can hear me. Am I clear
Yes,
enough?
Yeah, you look okay. Yeah.
Thanks. All right, cool. Well, you won't be seeing me most of the time, so that's the one good thing about this.
All right, thanks.
I'm gonna open this one.
I gotta put this on.
We need.
All right, is this everybody? Oh, Pat's coming. We're waiting on Pat. That's right. Free 6-pack of soda for everybody that came. So Vince, see Vince. Yeah. Chaplins, are we staying for our presentation or? That's all right. No, you're not in the way. Yeah, well, you look very nice. I don't think I've ever seen you come in here without being ready to work out. Yeah, or at 7 a.m. when. He's always like, I wish there was like more people that came. So it's like, oh, give a presentation to like 4 people. It feels weird. It's conversational, low key. Oh, are you saying? Yeah. All right. It's not gonna be long, 15, 20 minutes. Little Q&A, whatever. That's right. You're already here. You might as well sit for another half hour. Right. Well, I was supposed to do one in November, but BJ is away, and I didn't want her to have to come back. Yeah, we switched because she was like, well, I can do it in June, but I get back on like the 25th, and I was like, well, that sucks. Like, you don't want to go on a 2-week vacation into Europe and then have to go right into figuring out a presentation. So. Yeah, that's always fun. The 2 weeks after, and then. No, those are Barry. Yeah, those are not me. No. What? No. The reels is all like we each have our own day, and like so you can do whatever you want. So like none of it is. So Barry uses it as his personal Instagram, but also the gym Instagram. So it's a little confusing. But I mean Barry is CFG, so that's kind of why. But no. All right, so let's get started. I think we have one person on Zoom, which is cool. That works. This is being recorded as well in case you guys enjoyed it so much that you want to listen to it again. So once this is done, I'll send it out. We'll send it out to the whole gym. That way, if people couldn't be here, they can at least get some of the content. So as you guys know, we're talking Rethink Your Drink. We're talking beverages today. So we'll touch on some of the common beverages that people drink that we run into with clients here and just in general, some of the downsides of those, and then we'll talk about what we can switch to and how we can get more water specifically. And then we'll touch on another common question that we get is alcohol, what to do with that, how to approach that. All right. So to get started, obesity is obviously a big issue and can be, I don't know, we'll leave that. It's an issue and is drinks are part of the reason because of that, right? And especially sugary drinks. So obesity, the obesity rate for adults, according to the CDC, anybody have a percentage for US American adults? What percentage is considered obese? 42%. All right. Right. So 42%. So now children and adolescents, what percentage? About 20%. So not that bad, right? Not that bad. They haven't had the full ingrained habits yet. So not great, but not as bad as the adults for sure, right? I guess part of that is because they don't have full control of what they eat, right? So that definitely helps, regardless of what the parents eat. They at least know that, all right, I know I shouldn't be having it. I have it anyway, but I know you shouldn't be having it. I can control over that. So that might be the reason for that. You know, so why obesity? Why are we talking about obesity when we're talking about drinks, right? Obviously, sugar consumption is directly correlated with the obesity, right? Because it's so calorically dense. It's so easy to eat a little bit of it, but get a lot of calories, right? And it's also not very filling at all, especially when we consume it as a liquid. So you can have a ton of it without really kind of feeling full, right? If you have a ton of veggies, you're going to get full before you're even going to make a dent in how much calories. So obviously, the more sugar we eat as a country and as an individual, the more likely we're going to be going into that obese range. And in the opposite way, right? The less sugar we eat, the lower our risk of getting into that obese range. So that goes into, right? So I've had clients, and I know all the coaches here have had clients in the past that they're doing everything right. They're doing the plate method, they're eating their veggies, they're doing the lean meats and the good carbs and really trying to be conscious of what they're eating. But the client is still struggling to get results or getting as much results as maybe as they started at. So one of the common ways is going through their day is, all right, what do you drink now? Thinking about their beverages. And a client that I've had, not Marissa. So in the morning, they would stop at Starbucks and get like a latte or some kind of sugary coffee. Then late morning, as part of their snack, they would stop at the cafeteria, maybe grab a thing of apple juice. And then maybe lunch and or dinner, they would have a soda with dinner. Right. So 4 things, right? 4 little things throughout the day really makes a difference and adds up, especially with those sugars high calorically dense. So that could inhibit or was inhibiting their growth. So they were getting frustrated, they were getting lost, they were getting like dehydrated, so they weren't performing as well in the gym. So once we started revisiting what that looked like drink wise, we were able to help with that. So 6 1/4 teaspoons of sugar, right here. It doesn't look like that much because the bag is a little big, but anybody think that they might want to just grab a spoon and just go right into it, right? So what drink do we think has 6 1/4 teaspoons? Any guesses? Soda? Anybody else? Close. We got lemonade. So a little glass of lemonade, 6 1/4. So it's not horrible, but we'll get to what that equates to later. All right, now 10 1/4. This one is soda, right? Right, so there's our soda, right? So that liquid, right? Just sugar and water with some flavoring, right? So a couple other drinks, couple other examples, right? So we have fruit punch, root beer, both at 11 1/2 teaspoons. And you know, your Starbucks drink, if you get something real sugary, 20 teaspoons, right? So twice as much as this, right? So that's a lot. You can see how that kind of starts to add up, especially for that client, right? Have one of those, and then basically what's equal to 2 of those later in the day, right? That's going to jack up your calories big time, right? And you're not going to feel full, so you're going to want to eat something else later. So it just sugary, yeah. I mean, it's still. I mean, it has sugary drinks have their uses. I'm not saying we can't have any sugary drinks. It's obviously, just like everything else, it's moderation. Like I have a Gatorade when I'm working out, right? Because it helps fuel the workout if you're doing it with a purpose. And a lot of people will do chocolate milk post workout for that recovery, right? Especially if it's a skim milk, because we want to avoid fats around a workout because it'll slow the digestion of protein and carbs, which is really what we need to recover from. So chocolate milk, while not bad, it's if you time it right, it's good. It can be good.
Gatorade has a lot of sugar.
It's all sugar. It's basically sugar. Yeah. And so I buy like the powdered like container because a bottle has too much for like I only measure a little bit out. So I know exactly how much grams of sugar I'm having for my workout. And it's just enough to fuel the workout and help me recover. BJ's, Costco, I'm pretty sure all that you can probably get it off of Amazon. Yeah, but it's it's like a little thing and it lasts us probably a month. But it comes with a little scooper and you can put exactly how much you want in there because it's literally sugar. So 32 grams of powder is pretty much like 31 grams of sugar. So can be used in certain ways and efficiently, just depending on what your goals are. And again, in moderation, just like everything else. So the American Heart Association recommendations for the amounts of teaspoons of sugar for both females and males, all right, per day. So 6 teaspoons for females and 9 for men. So you can see how, one drink will already hit your maximum and then you can't have any sugar for the rest of the day or shouldn't have any sugar for the rest of the day. So you can kind of see how that's all kind of lining up. And then one final little fact, get the scare tactics out of the way. So the USDA Sugar and Sweetener Outlook found that Americans eat about 3 times the recommended daily amount in general, right? And you can see how 1, 2, 3 drinks, and then you're already over it, right? So it's easy to consume it, but it's also an easy problem to identify and a relatively easy one to address. So how do we know how much sugar and other things are in your drinks or even just your food, right? So we'll talk about nutrition, labels, and ingredients. So breaking it down. So starting from the top, so you have your servings per container. A lot of labels will get a little sneaky with making this part look good, especially the calories, by dividing it into servings, right? So if you take, in this case, there's 8 fluid ounces in 1 serving, right? So a little glass, but there's 8 servings per container. So if you take that whole thing, right, it's not 110 calories, it's 880 calories for the entire thing. So definitely one thing to be careful of is checking how many servings it is, right? A thing of Oreos might be like 100 calories per serving, but that might be 3 Oreos. And how easy is it to just crush a sleeve of Oreos? All right, so keeping an eye on that, right? And I talked about the calories, right? Then we have the list of all the nutrients our proteins, the carbs, and fats are, you know, the major ones that most people look out for, especially if you're counting. But you can also look at, they give you breakdown saturated fats, cholesterol, sodium, something we want to be careful of and try to keep on the lower range. And then we have our nutrients, our vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, you know, protein, stuff like that. We want to keep on that higher range. And then the last one is the percent daily value. So based off of 2,000 calorie diet, it tells you what each serving contains for your entire day. So as you can see here, right, our added sugars is 40%, 46% of the entire day that we're allotted. So if you have one serving of that, right, you're already halfway at your added sugar values, right? But to see how much sugar is in your drinks, right, we can look at this breakdown. So under carbs, there's going to be sugars, and then there's going to be added sugars. So the total sugars here is 25 grams, right? So that's how much is in the entire serving. They added 23 grams of sugar. So whatever drink this is only naturally has about 2 grams of sugar, right? So they added 23 grams of sugar into each serving. And then underneath of our nutrition facts or somewhere else is going to be an ingredients label, right? So they always start off with the most prevalent item in there. In the drink, it's going to typically be water, and then the lesser components, it goes down in decreasing order. So what we can pick out, it's not always just listed sugar, right? There's fructose corn syrup and brown sugar and honey and stuff like that. And notice I did say honey, it's still sugar, right? Your body doesn't recognize good sugar, bad sugar, it just sees sugar. So you can overdo the honey just as much as you can overdo oranges and all that. It's still sugars, but it's with what you get with fruits and veggies or fruits really is the added minerals and vitamins and all that stuff. So you can still go overboard with the amount of sugar from good things like fruit, but you also get the other stuff, and it'll be more filling than something like, you know, even honey or syrup and all that. So just being mindful of what is in the ingredients. And typically, you know, I think there's a commercial, at least I remember growing up, they always said if it rhymes with gross, it means it's sugar, like fructose and glucose and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just, that's what stuck in my head is the gross thing. So keeping an eye on the ingredients will also give an indicator on what has sugar. And like I said, the closer it is to the beginning, the more sugar it has, right? All right. So how can we go from having sodas and all that other stuff to better drink, rethink what we're drinking? The obvious answer is our best choice is water, right? There's no calories in it. It'll keep us hydrated. It's going to be better for us overall. So tap water, sparkling water is even fine. And then bottled water obviously is good. What we want to do is try to hit 60 ounces at a minimum per day. Obviously, if you're working out or if you're outside and it's really hot, you'll want to increase that amount just because you're going to be sweating. But hitting at least 60 ounces will be great. 100 ounces is amazing, right? You'll feel good. Your skin will be clear. Everything is going to be moving great. All right. So 3 tips. How can we increase the water? First one is to always have a water bottle with you at all times. I see most of us already have a water bottle. So that's awesome. So if you carry your water bottle with you at all times, it'll always be in your face. It'll be a constant reminder to keep drinking, keep drinking. You can even get one of those fun little water bottles that has like the time of day and a little thing, right? So you can say, oh, it's 10 o'clock and I'm still at the 9 o'clock mark. You can do that just to make it a little bit more fun. If you don't have a water bottle, I'm sure everybody's got a reusable water bottle laying around back in the cabinet somewhere. You might even have like 7 or 8 of them from giveaways and all that stuff that you've come across. If not, if you're going to grab a new water bottle, tip number 2, get a water bottle that can use a straw, right? So you'll be more efficient with your drinking and you'll drink faster, which will result in you drinking more, even though you might feel like you're drinking the same amount of time as you would without a straw. So you can always get like some fun straws too, if you want to make it a little more decorative, but it'll be easier to drink that water, which will make you drink more throughout the day. Again, trying to hit that 60 ounces plus throughout the day. And then our final tip is adding some flavor, right? So one of the major complaints and one of the things that people are drawn to those sugary drinks is because they taste good, right? The sugar helps with that too, but there's additional flavoring. So if you don't like the taste of water or don't think it tastes like anything, what you can do is you can add infused stuff into it, right? So toss a lime in there, toss a lemon in there, mix a couple of things together, try to experiment with different types of things to put in your water to make it taste better, right? If that's going to be your issue, let's try to avoid that. The other thing is the Mios and those little water things, right? While they're not ideal, I'm sure they have some added sugars. If that's what's going to get you to drink more water, that's fine. Like my wife hates like drinking plain water. She always squeezes a little bit in there just because it makes it taste good, right? that's good. If that's getting us pure water, it's better than soda or lemonade or iced tea or any of that stuff, right? So alcoholic beverages, like I said, right, the main question that we get is, you know, what do I do about drinking? What do I do about alcohol? And since we're talking about rethinking your drink, I want to talk about beverages, right? So we have wine, beer, and liquor, right? So each of those is about the same amount of alcohol, about 15 grams of alcohol in them. So just as a scale. So when we drink, the one thing that happens is, you know, we lose that self-control a little bit, inhibitions go down, right? So we are more tempted and typically are around more things that we wouldn't eat in general, right, during the week, but we are more tempted to eat something salty with high fat. And because we're drinking, our body wants to metabolize the alcohol first. So it'll end up storing the stuff that we eat because it'll be focused on metabolizing the alcohol, getting that out of our system, and it'll say, oh, I have extra stuff, so it'll cause more store. So not only does it make you eat more, it makes you store that stuff as fat, all right? So not only does it not help with eating, it doesn't help in the gym, right? Not only does it make us dehydrated in the short term, but long term, it can mess with your hormones and your immune system, so you won't effectively build muscle. And it also has shown to correlate with impairments in strength, power, and endurance, right? So a couple twofold there. We're going to put on a little bit of weight because our inhibition is going to go down. We're going to eat more and we're not going to digest it, so it's going to store. And then we're not going to get as much results in here, right? Even a drink or two every night can have that long-term effect, even in the gym. So I'm not doing this to say don't ever drink alcohol again, right? Because that's obviously extremely difficult for most of us. And it is nice to be able to socially have a drink or two. Again, just like most things, it's about moderation, alternating between a drink and a glass or two of water, and then specifically picking certain drinks to help minimize the amount of sugars and stuff that you're taking in, right? So HSN has a nice little mixed drink guide, right? So starting in the top left and kind of going down this way, down into the right, you can see, right, maybe our better choices are, you know, our dirty martinis and our tequila and soda water, right? Because it's just that liquor, it's low volume, and we don't have any added sugars from our mixers or sodas that you would have with something like even a Long Island iced tea or frozen margarita, right? You can see those sugar numbers jump up, which brings our calories way up, right? You can get the same result from these as you would from these. So just trying to strategically pick which ones you're going to drink. So a lot of information to throw at you guys. Just know that if you guys need any help, feel overwhelmed with anything, you can let myself or any of the other coaches know, email, set up a free consultation. We'll sit down, kind of see where things are at. You know, the free consultation, there's doing just the in-body scans, goal setting sessions, and then there's a one-on-one coaching that can help navigate beverages, food, you know, lifestyle choices in general. We're here to help in any way that we can. Anybody have any questions about this or anything else in general? I'm more than happy to answer them. Yeah, it's like the it's like the natural sweetener. It tastes good. Yeah. Everything's clear. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's better. It's better. Yeah. Yeah. It's in moderation, right? It's not like, I mean, I have diet drinks every once in a while too, but it doesn't have the added sugars, but it's not as good as like water or something like that. It's that manufactured sweet non-sugar. But I think
like pick my battles, like it's a
right,
little can.
right,
That's zero sugar. And
right.
It tastes really good.
Yeah.
And it's not like
right. I think as long as you're not having one like every single night, I think it's fine. Yeah. Again, it's in moderation at 80-20. And if it's the option between having a soda and a diet soda, picking that option is at least a step in the right direction for sure. It should be. If not, I can find the resource and I can send it out for sure. Yeah.
I want to know what's in a margarita.
Yeah. Right, like obviously you know, but when you see it and then you're comparing it to like this, it's like, yeah, yeah, just a constant reminder. Yeah. Awesome.
Electrolyte drinks like Rob Wolf, I drink that Elvis drink. Yeah, they're really good. And this one called Liquid IV.
Oh, liquid. Yeah, I love the liquid IVs.
Yeah, Liquid IV has sugar in it. Though.
Sure.
Rob Wolf don't, but
Hmm.
that gets me drinking a lot of water during the day. And I don't want to overdo it either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with the Rob Wolf one, but the liquid IVs, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, they're gonna have sugar in it, but that's just flavoring. And like, if that ends up doubling your water intake or increasing your water intake a little bit, it's not enough sugar that I think it makes a huge deal. Awesome.
Especially if you're watching around.
Right. Right. Yep. Teaspoons, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point about the ragu sauce is like, you don't realize the sauces and all that stuff, how much added stuff they put in there. Right. And they even, I mean, they have like sugar-free ones that are, you know, like you can, there's always better, especially now there's better options to pick it. But yeah, that's why I showed the nutrition label and all that stuff, because it is, you can see it. It's just not something you think about.
Daily amount of 16 grams for a guy.
Yeah.
Does that include your natural sugars too?
It's just added sugars.
Just added sugar.
Yeah.
So you get up, you have banana.
Yeah. I think the bananas are, yeah. We just want to avoid all the added sugars. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. I appreciate the audience. Thank you. Like I said, we will be posting this recording.
Jerry, come on.